Okay, let's start with the first type of chart that you can see here. This is a chart that we previously looked at in the previous video. And as you can see, we have the written segment and we have the visual segment, the visual section of this task. Our focus is on the visual section. Now, this type of chart is called a line graph, and I think the name is self-explanatory, right? Because we have the data shown in the form of lines. Now, in a line graph like this, there is always a vertical axis, which is this axis here, and we have a horizontal axis, which is this one here. Most of the time, the horizontal axis will represent time, some sort of division of time. So in this case, we have 1965, 1975, 1985, 1995, and 2005. So as you can see, we have a breakdown of 10-year intervals, right? So from 65 to 75, 75 to 85, to 95, and to 2005, 10-year intervals. Now you could expect days, months, hours. So the scale can vary. But what you will notice is that in the majority of cases, the horizontal axis represents time. The vertical axis, on the other hand, this axis represents quantities or amounts, right? So in this case, as you can see, next to the vertical axis, we have number of students in thousands. And as you can see, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that means 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, and 12,000, right? 12,000 what? Students. That's very important for you to remember. Now, the actual data is shown through these lines that you can see, parallel to the vertical, to the horizontal axis, which is basically showing how each variable is changing over time. So for example, we have 4 lines, and so we have 4 variables here. The variables, which we can see here through the description part, represent the types of fields that these students were studying in. So some students were in the engineering majors, some were studying medicine, arts and humanities, and the hard sciences. And the line graph shows how the number of students in each of these different types of courses has changed over time. Right? So for example, we can see here that the number of students in the hard sciences fell from over 10,000 to just over 8,000 students from 1965 to 2005. So as you can see, in a line graph, we're always concerned with describing changes over time. Talking about increases, talking about decreases, talking about fluctuations, do you see? And so, as we will later review, this type of data is quantitative and it is interval, meaning it's showing changes across time. More on that later. Okay, so we've covered the first type of chart, which is the line graph. It has a vertical and a horizontal axis. The horizontal axis represents time, the vertical axis represents quantities, and the lines themselves represent the variables that are shown, right? The data is embedded in the variables itself. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this content, please share, like, and subscribe. Catch you all in the next one.